he doesn't release these people soon, then one has to come to the conclusion that England has definitely regressed, and that the people, like the people of Nazi Germany, have agreed as a nation to draconian laws which have no place in England. Absolutely no place in England.
Starmer's future looks just depressing, and his position is under threat. He is the most incompetent prime minister we have ever seen. My only dream is for him to finally retire. All his words are just empty promises and outright lies. But despite the fact that he somehow won the election, he is not able to cope with this role and looks like a complete loser. Today, we will discuss the latest developments related to him, and I cannot contain my indignation.
How's it going? How's it going in the swing states?
It's definitely trending Trump. There's no doubt about it, Kevin. You see it in the polls. The most recent polls have him leading in all 7 swing states. It's still very close, don't get me wrong, but the momentum is clearly Trump. Gallup came out, they tried to bury it, but Gallup came out this morning with the new poll numbers that show Trump in positive territory on approval ratings for the first time ever. He's up 2 points from, approval, disapproval. He's up 2 or 3. Kamala is down 2 or 3. So it's pretty interesting that the trend right now is really favorable to the Trump campaign.
Less than 2 weeks before the general election, the world of political struggle is heating up to the limit. The opinions of experts and bookmakers differ more than ever. At the very beginning of the presidential race, when there were many candidates in it, the chances of Donald Trump and the representative of the Democrats seemed almost equal. But after the first debate between Biden and Trump, Biden's ratings collapsed. However, the assassination attempt on Trump during his campaign rally and the subsequent harsh statements by the current vice president dealt a serious blow to the Democrats' chances of success. Harris became known as a communist for her economic recovery plan, which included state control over food prices. The Republican team uses every opportunity to emphasize that the Democratic candidate is lying. And so Harris critics are wondering what's stopping her from realizing all her bold ideas right now. She has been vice president for 4 years now. According to the estimates of the Polymarket betting agency, the candidate's chances look like this Trump more than 60%. Over $750 million was bet on him, and Harris more than 35%. A little more than $470 million was bet on her.
Yeah, I mean, Starmer keeps saying this. This is a crock of crap, Greg. Starmer, and indeed his deputy there, Angela Rayner, if they had any wisdom at all, this is a Labour initiative to help their equivalents in America, the Democrats, win the presidential election. If they had any wisdom at all, they'd have said, no, let's not do this, because, hey ho, it looks like Donald Trump might win. He's certainly got a very good chance of winning, and we need relations with this guy after the election. That is madness. We'll agree.
Dozens of activists of the ruling Labour Party have arrived in America to support Kamala Harris. This news caused a real storm of indignation, and this is not accidental. This is blatant foreign interference in our elections, Trump exclaimed. Moreover, this is an intervention by Great Britain, the country that once held America in colonial slavery. Starmer, as if nothing had happened, claims that this is just an empty fuss. According to him, the activists of the Labour Party campaigning for Kamala do this in their free time and do not receive money for it, so they say everything is fine. But is it really so? As for Trump himself, they say the craziest things about him. David Lammy insulted Trump just 2 years after 63 million Americans voted for Trump and he became president. That's what Labour really thinks about Trump voters.
I want Trump to win, not so much for Trump and not so much for all of Trump's supporters, but because of the people that it will really infuriate. And you know who I'm talking about. And the Dems over there, I mean, although they can see the direction of travel and it's not good in their favour at all, they'll be stunned in a way, won't they? Because their fuel is Trump derangement syndrome. Don't worry, no one will vote for Donald Trump because it's impossible to like him. He's hateable. That's not working, is it?
No, especially when half the country actually likes him. And now it's more than half. He's up 2 points. So, it's the Trump derangement syndrome is hitting all kinds of new.
It seems to me that hatred of Trump is rooted in 3 striking aspects of his image. The first thing that causes rejection in many is his colossal financial condition. Donald Trump, being the son of a wealthy businessman, got everything he needed for success at the start of his life, and since then he has not left the luxurious circles of rich and influential people, tirelessly increasing his income and connections. The second aspect is his eccentricity. Trump has always been well aware that the noise in the press that makes him famous is his main tool for promoting business and increasing income. Finally, the third aspect is its conflict.
Well, what has happened, putting people in prison for voicing perfectly legitimate complaints, and of course, at times losing their temper slightly, which is normal. I mean, everybody does that, and then putting them in prison. I can't believe it, and that these people have not been released by now is absolutely appalling. And if this Starmer, Mr. Plod, or whatever, he's an insult to Mr. Plod. If he doesn't release these people soon, then one has to come to the conclusion that England has definitely regressed, and that the people, like the people of Nazi Germany, have agreed as a nation to draconian laws which have no place in England, absolutely no place in England.
Arrests of people whom the government blames for migration policy problems have begun in Britain, and this is shocking. Jordan Parler was sentenced to 20 months in prison just for calling for the destruction of a hotel housing 200 asylum seekers. How is that? What is his fault? The British taxpayer, for whose money this hotel was built, loudly declares that he does not need it, neither the hotel itself nor the migrants who live in it. And at the same time, the government, for unknown reasons, puts these migrants above its own citizens, completely ignoring the crimes that occur there. This is simply absurd. All this seems completely logical, but for the judge it became a crime. In modern Britain, it seems it is impossible to talk openly about reality without fear of consequences. Richard Williams also found himself trapped in British justice for a provocative post. He was found guilty under new legislation and sentenced to 12 weeks in prison. This is just crazy.
Let's talk about Elon Musk. He's the richest person in the world, and that might be some of the reason why so many people, certainly in this country, seem to hate him, including our government, including our Prime Minister. He was pointedly not invited to a business investment conference last week, which was supposed to stimulate investment in this country. Now, I think Elon would have come if he was invited, but we didn't invite him because he's had a bit of a thing going on with our president. But generally speaking, I'm wondering why Elon, a fascinating guy, a clever guy, brilliant guy, fascinating space program, brilliant businessman. Why does everybody hate him?
Elon Musk found himself at the center of a scandal when he was not invited to a government business summit after a conflict with Starmer. This conflict broke out against the background of the summer riots that swept the UK after the crimes in Southport. In a tweet, he expressed outrage. "I don't think anyone should go to the UK when dangerous criminals are being released and people are being jailed for posting on social media." Last year, Musk was the guest of honor at the UK government's Artificial Intelligence Security Summit, where Rishi Sunak talked with him for almost an hour. But now the new Labour administration seems to be completely ignoring him, unwilling to listen to his opinions and criticism. It's just shocking.
Keir Starmer took free tickets from somebody with whom he had a policy issue. In other words, he was the person who ultimately authorised the blue lighting and the security convoy through London, and therefore he shouldn't have taken any free tickets. Now, as somebody who wouldn't take a free ticket from Taylor Swift if it was offered.
I would. Because you don't like her, or because you have
because I don't like her. Not I don't like her, but,
No, but you're
because I wouldn't enjoy Taylor.
Andrew is not a Swiftie.
I'm not a Swift.
Keir Starmer found himself at the center of a scandal, returning gifts worth more than £6,000, including tickets to a Taylor Swift concert and a deal to buy clothes for his wife. These generous gifts, which he accepted more than once, caused a wave of public outrage. In response to the harsh criticism, Starmer promised to review the rules for ministers to ensure greater transparency in the provision of services. This situation escalated when it became known about the investigation into Wahid Ali, who is under investigation by the House of Lords due to allegations of concealment of his interests. The House of Lords Standards Commission has confirmed that the millionaire businessman is being investigated for possible violations of the Peer Code of Conduct. But as it became obvious, this investigation has nothing to do with Starmer's donations and looks more like a formality than a real step towards restoring trust. Society demands greater honesty and openness from its leaders. What do you think about this video? Share your thoughts in the comments. See you later.